During the days of the election campaign in December 1970, Dhaka wore a new look. Mike Nicholson of UPITN interviewed Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and President Yahya Khan for a television broadcast. Explaining the disparities between the two wings of Pakistan, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman said,
Pakistan, Bengal and West Pakistan, in between the Indian territory of 1500 miles. And actually, as there is labor mobility between the east and west, as the central government machineries are there in West Pakistan, as central administration in the hands of West Pakistani, as the military installations and the military personnel have come from West Pakistan, only 10% from Bengal, in the armed forces, and the 15% in the central administration. Naturally, these 23 years you have seen that East Pakistan, particularly the Bengal, is nothing but a colonial market. If you want to save that and give equal rights as a Pakistani, then you have to give Bengal their right to live. And they must be master of their own resources because they have been exploited for long 23 years. It cannot be tolerated anymore.
Will you, as you said many times, get back to being an army man?
Well, my intention of remaining a president has nothing to do with me. The process of democracy, the government will elect their president. And unless I offer myself for that election, I can't remain a president. And I'm not offering myself to be president.
You will not?
No, I'm not offering myself president. I'm not, my temperament is not this way, my makeup is not that way. I joined the army as a professional soldier. I remain so. And my biggest aim is to go back to my army. I have only 2-3 years left of service before I retire. So, in the process, if I happen to be in charge of running this country for a year and a half or 2 years, that perhaps will be an additional satisfaction to me that I have done some service to the nation also in restoring democracy back to them as a soldier. But apart from that, I'm quite clear on the subject. Of course, one can't tell from time to time, as I was saying the other day in the press conference, that if God forbid my second phase of the plan, which is making of the Constitution, I'll do my damnedest to bring it about. If it doesn't come about, martial law will have to continue. My duty then remains. But then I'm not going to remain and forget everything. I'll have to think again as to other methods and processes of bringing about democracy. Another election, a referendum to the nation, something which I would not even contemplate now, think about. I'm hoping this will go through. Does that answer your question?
Elections were held on the basis of adult franchise in December 1970. The Awami League, which had earlier won a provincial election in 1954, had always based its election issues on the basis of regional autonomy. But the ruling cliques had always fought on the plea of religion. The secular character of the Awami League once again triumphed in the general elections of 1970. It won 167 seats out of the 169 allotted to East Bengal in a house of 313 members. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman thus became the undisputed leader of the majority party in the Pakistan National Assembly. The people of East Pakistan naturally looked forward to the ending of the hate martial law, and they also hoped for an end to the continued exploitation by a group of army generals and a few rich families of West Pakistan. They had waited 23 years for economic and political justice. Now at last, it seemed to be round the corner. Though President Yahya Khan kept postponing the convening of the National Assembly, he seemed earnest about the transfer of power. He even referred to Sheikh Mujib as the future Prime Minister of Pakistan. But Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, leader of the Pakistan People's Party, which had won a simple majority of seats in the Western Wing, threatened to boycott the assembly. He demanded a consensus on the new constitution to be framed. In other words, the majority party could not frame the constitution unless the minority party approved it. The convening of the assembly was again postponed. March 25, 1971 was set as the new date. The patience of the people of East Pakistan was wearing thin. Sheikh Mujib called upon the people to assert their democratic right. A non-cooperation movement was launched for the mandate of the people to be honored. Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was finally persuaded to come to Dhaka for talks. At that time, there were reports of unusually large movements of armed forces from West Pakistan to East Pakistan. But the East Pakistanis welcomed Mr. Bhutto in good faith. They hoped that all would end well once the National Assembly was convened.
Are you satisfied with the talk, sir?
We are discussing.
Although Mr. Bhutto was being obstinate, the people of East Pakistan expected a broadcast from President Yahya Khan announcing the transfer of power to the elected representatives of the people. Under the personal guidance of General Tikka Khan, military governor of East Pakistan, a carnage unparalleled in human history had begun. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the man who was named as the future Prime Minister of Pakistan, was dubbed a traitor, arrested and taken to an unknown destination in West Pakistan. The Awami League was banned, and the army moved in to restore what they called law and order. Describing the carnage let loose by the West Pakistan Army in Kushtia, Mr. Hendrik van der Heyden, an economist and member of the World Bank mission to East Pakistan, said, Kushtia looked like a German town in World War II after Allied strategic bomb attacks. 90% of the houses, shops, banks, and other buildings were totally destroyed. People were sitting around dazed. When we moved around, everybody fled. It was like the morning after a nuclear attack.
Actually, in the beginning, after March 25, for 36 hours, the massacre continued in Dhaka city without respite, without break. They killed teachers, students, hundreds of workers and their families. The policemen, Bengali policemen and Bengali paramilitia belonging to East Pakistan Rifles. And people thought, particularly myself, I was at that time in Dhaka, I thought that everything was over and we were going to be wiped out by these forces from West Pakistan from the face of the earth.
A few days after the army crackdown, Major Zia announced to the world the plight of East Bengal.
Cantonment. And once I was told about it, and having known the earlier background that the Pakistanis were out to kill our people, the civilian population and the Bengali army personnel, we had no other way but to take up arms and fight our way out. We captured the radio station at Chittagong on 27th, and I had to go up in the air because I found the Pakistanis were concentrating very heavily in Chittagong, and they had started bringing in the 16th Division. As a last resort, I wanted to tell the world what was happening, and I went up the air in the evening and I made the declaration. Having heard me over the radio, the other regiments of East Bengal Regiment and the East Pakistan Rifle and the police force also revolted.
আজকে আমাদের ব্রিজ রেকি সাবজেক্ট চলবে। আমি আগে বলেছি ব্রিজ ডেমোলেশন করার আগে ব্রিজকে রেকি করা বিশেষ প্রয়োজন। তাই ব্রিজ রেকি করতে হলে প্রথম আমরা ব্রিজের কাছে যাব, দেখব ব্রিজের পিলার টু পিলার মাঝে যে স্প্যান গুলা, সে স্প্যানের ডিস্টেন্স কতটুকু এবং কোন স্প্যান থেকে অ্যাবাউটমেন্ট টু।
In the initial stages of the war, there was practically no organized liberation army. But soon, Mukti Bahini became a familiar name. On the morning of April the 17th, a little village in Kushtia was renamed Mujibnagar. Under a mango grove, the Democratic Republic of Bangladesh was proclaimed as a formally constituted state. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was declared the president of the new nation. In his absence, Sayyid Nazrul Islam, the vice president, became the acting president. Mr. Tajuddin Ahmed was named the prime minister. The army of General Yahya Khan had failed to crush the spirit of the people of East Bengal. It was freedom or death.
সজ্ঞানে সুস্থ শরীরে শপথ করিতেছি যে আমি আমার প্রাণের বিনিময়ে হইল আইনগতভাবে গঠিত প্রতিনিধিত্বশীল।
In the name of Almighty God, I swear to be loyal to the sovereign Republic of Bangladesh. With my life, I shall protect the freedom of my motherland.
আমি আরো শপথ করিতেছি যে মুক্তি বাহিনীর একজন সৈনিক হিসাবে আমার মাতৃভূমির স্বাধীনতা সার্বভৌমিত্ব রক্ষার্থে সর্বশক্তি নিয়োগ করিব।
The army of General Yahya Khan had failed to crush the spirit of the people of East Bengal. It was freedom or death.
সজ্ঞানে সুস্থ শরীরে শপথ করিতেছি যে আমি আমার প্রাণের বিনিময়ে হইল আইনগতভাবে গঠিত প্রতিনিধিত্বশীল।
In the name of Almighty God, I swear to be loyal to the sovereign Republic of Bangladesh. With my life, I shall protect the freedom of my motherland.
আমি আরো শপথ করিতেছি যে মুক্তি বাহিনীর একজন সৈনিক হিসাবে আমার মাতৃভূমির স্বাধীনতা সার্বভৌমিত্ব রক্ষার্থে সর্বশক্তি নিয়োগ করিব।